is Courtney James, and I am here with Patrick Cruickshank, the CEO, and Gary Lohman, the VPX, both at 9 Mile Metals. Hi, you guys.
Doing well, Courtney. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And Patrick, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Courtney. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. So on Tuesday this week, you put out some awesome news about the survey results at California Lake South. And Gary, I was just hoping that you could touch on that a little bit and share some of that information.
Yeah, this is sort of much awaited news for us. We've always liked this area, and there were some megatem targets there, and this grid was selected due to its location in a nice fold nose with looks like a syncline, good rocks. Uh, And the plates that were defined, and you can see that in the press release, there were four that were of like high priority that were strong, and four others that were moderate. One thing I'd like to emphasize, I mean, these are good solid targets, and the plates actually is not the full target itself. This is actually a sort of sweet spot for drilling. And the plate is probably much larger, goes to depth. And if you remember back to our survey down at the Wedge where we did, or the other surveys where we do borehole,
Mhm.
there's sort of a depth limitation to this type of survey dependent on line spacing and that. So this is really good. Getting plates that are down at the 500-meter mark. I think one's 500, the other's at 590. And drilling in this area is minimal.
Okay.
And there I don't think there's anything for kilometers. And even when people are drilling here, it's only down to about 300 meters. So we've had the new technology. It has found something in the right rocks.
Right.
We've got some depth to it. And as I stated, these are just sort of the sweet spot for drilling.
Um,
Um,
and could you explain to me like how the TDM survey works? I know that you have contracted EarthEX to do that, and just yeah, like how is that? What's involved in that technology?
well, like a lot of it has to do with they design it, I guess, according to the way the geology is and the structure.
Hmm.
And like I stated, this is a different structural regime than the other hole we did. So the first thing they do is locate your target area, and then they lay a loop out. So that puts the charge into the ground.
Okay.
And then there's the survey lines, which we showed on the press release. And they believe they're about 200 meters apart to give us good coverage. And they were nice and long. And as we stated, right at I think it was the northeast edge of the surveys when they got an elevated response. And for the modeling, they needed to continue farther.
Okay.
So they've got enough data to smooth it all out. And that's why we did the extended lines. And that gave us sort of the finished off plates A and C and B up in the northeast corner.
Okay. And then I know I mentioned in there a couple of times this fold nose. Could you also share a little bit about the significance of that?
Well, those are like structural points. Bathurst, as we've said numerous times, has gone through multiple stages of deformation. So it's just taking something that would be flat, and if you squeeze it like this, uh, the geology, the mineralization, and that can get concentrated into a nose.
Right.
And it's typical of the other deposits in the area where you get folding,
So a
a
super
lot of
dense
compression. Yeah,
area of
it does.
mineralization.
Yes.
Okay.
And like I say, the host geology is good. There's megatem conductors there, and again, this is just the sweet spot that gives us a starting point, and hopefully we got something that nice and deep.
That's great. And then Patrick, what's involved with next steps following this release?
Yeah, obviously we're very excited. What I'd like to touch on is just to confirm and let folks know that why we're very excited on this is we got to look at target trend 11 as well, and Gary can go into this, but C and A are separate, and that's very important. And we got it when we did the extension, or when EarthEX did the extension, it showed us a glimpse on trend 11, which
Yeah.
we are, we just our portfolio and our land package is so strong, we can't do all our targets, all our geological targets.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
we still have our biggest grid to receive our data on, which is the West Wedge and Tribag area with a couple lines over target 6. So that has been completed and being processed right now. Now, it's obviously, everyone knows the lag. It takes quite some intense time and computer hours. So we're still looking forward to that, which will be the trend west. We've looked at the wedge east, the wedge itself. Now this is going to be wedge west and take that big, massive trend there. So we're still waiting for that and the complete 3D UAV drone processing. So again, this has been a big commitment from our team and from our company, and we're starting to see the fruits of the labor and the expertise that EarthEX brings.
Mhm.
And we've been very methodical and committed and head down and working. And,
Yeah.
it's taken a long time, but we're getting the processing and the quality of the targets. And when you fact check the treasure map, we call it, from the reprocessing of the Megatem and the AirDat, the red conductor, late time conductive responses, the red lines are lining up with exactly what EarthEX is finding with the advanced geophysics. So that is highly encouraging.
Yes.
So we can't wait to test it, as well as future targets that we are uncovering as we're going through this entire portfolio program. So very, very excited. Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited to get back to California Lake and
Yeah.
obviously geologically there's a lot of plumbing and a lot of stuff going on there, and we can't wait to start on this advanced targeting.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you so much for all of the information that you guys shared recently in that news release. It was very dense with a bunch of exciting updates, and I look forward to seeing what's coming up next.
Thank you.
Take care, Courtney.
Yeah, take care, you guys.